Hello.
Hi.
Namaste. Greetings. Still
Greetings,
from Nepal.
Still
Beautiful Kathmandu.
Still from Kathmandu, but another district in Kathmandu. Finally, we are back here into like the more quieter place. Okay. Right, we came back to the Lalitpur area, okay, formerly known as Patan. Right, so yeah, we just checked into like a new place. Right, so I decided to actually do this Facebook Live with all of you impromptu because we cannot plan anything here because everything is really happening with the flow. Okay, so we just thought that actually Kong Yu thought that today is actually a very special day for us to do this Facebook Live is because it is summer solstice. Okay, so blessed summer solstice to all of you. Okay, mainly those of you from Malaysia. Okay, or probably any parts of the world who are tuning in here.
That's right.
All right, so we are also still sending greetings from Kathmandu. If you have anything to ask regarding here, I think quite a number of touristy areas, non-touristy areas, local food, and stuff like that. I think we are quite familiar with that lah. Having spent almost like 3 weeks already here
and counting. This is our last week here.
Yeah,
and it's been an amazing experience. So yes, like Jessie was saying, right? So besides summer solstice and the topic of the day, which is about the fire element. So if any comments and even questions about Kathmandu, we can try to answer those.
Try to lah. You see no flowers there. Okay, hello, thank you always for tuning in. Hi, Aistan. Okay, thank you for always being there. All right, and then we have Catherine Huang as well. Okay, thank you for always in a way supporting the sessions. What time is it now? In KL.
It's like 6:15.
Okay, 6:15 here in KL. All right, so and it's Tuesday. All right, so today, as I mentioned, it is summer solstice, right? And we find that it's a very special day as summer solstice itself is actually one, like most of you, if you're Chinese, you heard about winter solstice, and the importance of it, So today's summer solstice is a totally opposite of winter solstice, especially for those of us in a way, I would say, northern hemisphere, So, and summer solstice marks, the longest day, or longest sunlight of the year itself, right? So I will say that today itself, is a very significant day, right? For us, it's like in terms of astrology, when it comes to even spirituality and all that, the sun is very significant, It is very important because we want to, in a way, ascend ourselves, towards the star, and the nearest star is the sun itself, So I see a lot of blessings there, from it's just that my eye cannot relate.
Yeah, that's why it's harder to see on the screen because of the phone. So we're gonna look at the iPad.
Yes, Liu Lai Ping, Hi, Chong Mei Yong, hi. Mei Yong, I see that, you are also doing, starting on your conscious living page and all that. It's very, very good, I'm very, very proud of you. Keep up the good work, do more of it, So like those of you who are tuning in now, if you're my student, if you have attended any of the classes, please, I really urge out to all of you who are ready, especially those of you who I personally say that you guys are ready, start doing something on your own, So An Ang, hi, all right, so Kim Peng, so thank you for tuning in. Again, the same thing, right, if you can, do help us to share this out. See, we hear that. Can you hear that sound again, the honking everywhere? We're in Kathmandu.
This one should be clear now because we're right in the midst of the action. Like our very first Facebook Live here. Right, we were also in Patan.
Oh, but that street was worse. That street was worse. At least here we are in a more inner area, besides the main street. Alright, so today's I'm just going to share with you is in a way something more about summer solstice. Summer solstice to me itself is very, very important. It marks the longest day of the year itself, where you see the sun, when you have the longest exposure to the sun, it also means that this is the day that actually in a way that gives us a lot of vibrant yang energy. And yang energy is very, very important. So overall itself, I personally feel that summer solstice, it makes things more productive. Alright, it's supposed to make things more productive, We're supposed to feel more energized. We're supposed to have actually more clarity, onto the things that we are pursuing, alright? Or in case for those of you who felt lost, if you feel that, right, somehow it's like things are just unclear, you're unsure what's your purpose or whatever, okay, do seek out for that clarity, because during summer solstice itself, or the timing, okay, around this area, okay, with the help of the sun, right, the chances of us being able to find clarity within ourselves, to see things in a way, like in a much clearer path, okay, and also have the energy to achieve things, to do things itself, right, okay, will be better. As obviously you can see here, I'm doing all the talking is because Kong Yu have to be busy helping me to share, okay, this Facebook Live itself over different platforms, okay, alright, and so, right,
because the last time I didn't get to.
Yeah, so if you can actually help us to share this
Yes.
Facebook Live, okay, onto different platforms as well, right, please help us to do so. And if you have any questions, okay, any questions regarding probably like why Kathmandu, the places here, how's the energy here, if you have any questions regarding probably like the way this particular month itself, okay, the fire energy which Kong Yu has specifically chosen today to actually share with you. He wants to talk more about the fire energy, which is very, very important, right? So, oh, and Ang, thank you so much, okay, done sharing, she said, okay, thank you so much. Or if you have any questions asking about, yeah, the oracle messages, I'm not sure, all of you here, have you actually in a way clicked into that special link that my team has in a way created for all of you? Because for those of you who have not heard, that I have actually come out with these oracle messages, okay, and it is quite an amazing experience, okay, because I got all those like oracle messages here when I first reached Kathmandu within the first week. It also happened in this old town or old city of like Patan as well, okay. And for most of you who knows that I'm not someone who can write like that well, okay. I really don't feel that, okay. Writing is actually one of my skills. But I'm also equally amazed, so is Kong Yu, okay, because normally he writes much better than me, and he helped me to actually write and express myself, okay, besides my Facebook posts and all that, okay. So he feels that, wow, okay, when the messages came in itself, it just came in as raw and as like pure as it is, like in a way minimal, or even some of it no editing is required. All right, so I really urge to all of you, if you have not actually gotten your oracle messages, please do get it, because when I downloaded the audit, when I shuffle it, and when I choose my own card itself, I felt in a way like a slap on my face, literally, okay, because I feel like the message are so on point. All right, it in a way, okay, right, tells me what I really needed, okay, to know or to listen to most, okay, at this moment. All right, so right, for those of you who, if you have gotten yours, maybe you can share, okay, with me and see whether does it really resonates with you. How do you find the oracle messages? And for those of you, if you have not gotten it, please, I really like hope that you can actually get your oracle message, because I find that it is actually rather magical, okay, in a way. All right, so yeah, no Firos, thank you for sharing as well.
Thank you everyone. Right, hi Mel.
Hi
Nice
Mel,
to see you as always.
hi.
Thanks for your
Yeah.
support. Right, there was a couple of questions. You want to talk about that?
Yeah, and I'm saying I've got the oracle message which nailed it. Okay, it says not to feel guilty. I guess need to learn to let go. Yeah, thank you, and Ang, for sharing with me. I really hope that those of you, if you have not gotten your oracle message, okay, please get it. Share it to your friends, share it to your colleagues, your family members, okay, because the oracle message came to me as in like, no way, it's like, you know, kautima. You know, I grew up from the temple, and in the temple itself, a lot of people like to go out to get that oracle stick, okay? So especially today, this is summer solstice. It's supposed to be the day with the brightest sunlight, most yang energy. It's supposed to, in a way, give us that sort of like more enlightenment, more clarity in life, okay? So it will be good if you can just share out the link itself, so that more people, as if like they are going to a temple to Kautim, because we are living in a new world now, okay? As in like, you know, not all the time we can like, just like, you know, go to the temple and really like shake the stake. Even like recently we went to Singapore. Every single time I go to Singapore, I will go to this Guan Yin temple near Bugis area, okay? And then I will definitely go and like, in a way, shake for this oracle stick itself, because it's very, very on point to me, okay? Because I needed clarity as well in my life, okay? So I remember that this year when I went in May, right, okay, they totally, in a way, removed the oracle stick thing, okay? I think due to the pandemic, or I'm not sure whether they are temporarily removing it or they're removing it for good. So in a way that it also inspires me or give me this inspirations, as in like, hey, when I go to different places, with powerful energy, okay, with really, really good feng shui, I can try to download and understand the oracle or the messages from the divine, and I can prepare it, okay, in a link so that every one of you, okay, in the whole entire wide world can have, like, in a way, reach out to it. So all of you, okay, can also in a way calm yourself, right, and take a number, or the best still is look into the mandala of every card has a different mandala. Which one calls to you more? Okay, choose it and it reveals your message. It's just like going to the temple and get your oracle stick messages.
So Serena was asking where to get it. Serena, it's actually been posted on Jessie's timeline, also copied on mine. Right? You just have to click on the link and you get to the oracle page.
Yeah.
So you just have to go from there, just type it from there, you'll get yours.
Yeah. Okay, and probably any one of you here who has the link, okay, because we have a lot of like very, very loyal, supportive follower here as well. So if you can,
comments.
yeah, if you can, you have the link or whatever, help us to actually post in the comments so that people can access it. And I'll find that today, summer solstice, is very special, right? It will be a perfect day because summer solstice itself, you have like the longest day of the year. So this particular day itself, right, okay, especially on the northern hemisphere, you will find that this day itself, right, is a day where you will have access to the yang energy, to the brightness of the sun or the star, okay? The nearest star to our solar system is the sun itself, okay? To get that awareness, okay? And the energy that we can tap into it,
That's
okay?
right, because the North Pole, right, is tilted or angled at the closest point to the sun. Right, so that's why we get longer daylights. You can say that overall, generally the northern hemisphere is more exposure to yang, which is basically which is powered by the sun itself.
Yes, okay, and also because you see, we have summer solstice every year, okay? Every year we have summer solstice, but not every year you have a summer solstice with that intense fire energy. Not every year you have a summer solstice, okay, which is a Ping Wu pillar in that particular month, alright? Because this year's the fire energies are the most intense, okay? Not only in terms of just like the way the yearly planetary alignment, but also in the aligning of the astrological 60 jiazi also, because not every year you have this particular pillar. So it is that special, so it will be good for you to at least get some clarity of it. See what are the things you have to focus on, what are the things you need to work on, and start working on it. And that's the purpose of the whole astrological thing as well, okay?
Yeah, and it's very interesting because the point of summer solstice, of course we define it from different calendars, right? There's the Chinese calendar, but of course you look at the Western Gregorian calendar and also for the Western astrology and astronomy side of things, of course there's a mark of the summer solstice and the winter solstice. And for the summer solstice starting point, which is basically today, June 21st, right, also corresponds in Western astrology to the starting of Cancer season. Now it's very interesting to me because I've been doing some, it's not comparison, but an understanding of the different systems so that I can use Chinese astrology much better. But the interesting thing about Cancer season is it's actually a water sign, right? So that means it points to me that no matter where, when it comes to extremes, especially when it comes to fire, right, you're also going to, if you allow it, if you're aware of it, there's also the water energy that is there, right? The yang, and then of course there's always the yin counterpart. So it's very interesting.
Water,
that's right. The fire season itself, from the Western astrology perspective, actually starts with the water sign first. Right? So that's very interesting. So that's something also I think that we keep in mind, that within any extreme, right, there is bound to be the other extreme, which is actually possible, but we may not always be aware of it unless we open our eyes and we can feel it. Right, so within this also, even though there's a lot of clarity, there's a lot of excitement, exuberance, outwardness of fire energy, right, expansion, there's also the ability to really tap within into what is important in terms of our yin areas of our life, right? Connections, nurturance, family, and also overall personal care.
Yeah.
And relationships.
Okay,
Yeah.
the balance is very, very important. And if you really want to balance it, today, starting from today, taking the action, making that I would say that intention, setting the intention today is very, very important, because today is also is like a very balanced, okay, I would say a very balanced day. All right, so yeah, I see that, you see lah, okay, all this like Melvi have actually like share the link to the oracle, and directly, okay, the link to the oracle as well. Thank you so much. All right, okay, so and you have also any questions here? Amy was saying that she got the oracle card, which is greedy. Okay, so she find that it's very true. Yeah, thanks for sharing, Amy. All right, so always remember, getting an oracle card is just getting like a divine message, because all these messages has been downloaded really in a location, because I have like, we have visited numerous temples, monasteries, climbing mountains. Oh my god. That's like, oh my god, it's so crazy. Okay, it was so tiring, it was so painful. As you can see, is I'm not really the type of person that will enjoy hiking. I remember before we come to Kathmandu, right, this guy here was saying, they said, hey, come on now, when we are in Kathmandu, let's do some simple hike. No, I say no hiking. But when we're here,
we ended up having to hike.
It's non-stop. It's because it's like you can't get to the point, the spot, the place with the intense energy, okay, that like meridian point, if you don't hike, okay. So like, no, to him, he's like, okay, I thought you say no hiking, but no. When it comes to this part, we hike, okay, right? But if you ask me to hike for the sake of just conquering the mountain or conquering the hill, there's no purpose to it. But looking for that meridian point, looking for that place, okay, of those of you who follow our Facebook Live, okay, the previous one on Saturday, okay, which is at the Ganesha Temple at the river mouth of our exit, okay, of the Bagmati River outside of Kathmandu Valley. It's a very special place, okay, and these are the places you want to go up and down also, I will go with you, okay? But the thing is, if you just want to hike for the sake of hiking, no.
Yeah, but that's the thing, isn't it? It's because Kathmandu is a valley surrounded by immediately the range of mountains, 360 around, so you can't avoid it when you get to the side. But the irony is that even within Kathmandu district itself, right, where we are, there's no lifts, so you got to walk upstairs all the time.
Yes.
So even if you want to avoid the hikes, right, you cannot avoid the stairs. So it's like hiking.
Yeah, it's been 3 weeks.
Really, it's like
I have not experienced an escalator or a lift before. We almost the other day at Hard Rock Cafe, but we didn't. Okay, we didn't go into. So Ann Ang was asking, okay, is it after today the yang energy will get dimmer? Okay, yeah. So and wait, yeah. The yang energy, yes, after today itself, because this is a peak, okay, after today it will actually go slower and like dimmer, like slowly, gradually, okay? Yeah. But the thing is, that's why our summer solstice to me is very important. Like a lot of people say, in fact, summer solstice, they are doing rituals about it to celebrate, to maximize that yang energy within us. Because you see, our body is our temple. We can keep this energy within us itself. With the right intention, okay, we can actually, in a way, all right, how to say, receive and store this yang energy within us. So in the upcoming months itself, we are entering into autumn and eventually into winter. So if we manage to get as much clarity, okay, as much yang energy as possible, okay, if we can get from, of course, today onwards during this particular whole season itself, right, this clarity and this yang energy can stay within us, okay, for the rest of the months, okay, means that it keeps us clear for the entire autumn and also winter season.
Correct. So you can use that preparation, right? Basically absorb as much yang as possible in a way, right? And you use that for the rest of the year as well. That'll be very awesome. Because Xiao Kwan had a question about using the fire element. I will get into some more details as to how the fire element relates to the dominant element or elements in your Batu chart in a moment. Yeah. Right? Do we have any?
Alicia SK was here asking is like, what if we are attracted to more than one oracle card? Okay. Now, get the one that you're most attracted to first. Okay. Right. Okay. Pay priority to that. Then after that, you can open another one to see what are the sub-message, okay, right, besides the main one. But always like, if you have two that you're attracted to, okay, then contemplate, narrow down to these two and see which one that you really want to end up choosing as your priority first. That is a heavier message, okay? And then after that, look into the second one as well to see what will be the sub-message for you. All right, Alatia, so I hope that that answers your question. Okay, no Pharaoh says Nepal is in my next destination tour list, okay? That's good. It's a amazing place in a different way. Let's put it that way. Alright? Amazing place in a different way. Muriadim, okay, hi, okay, good evening to you. Alright, Serena Chia, how to have the clarity and yang energy. So you want to cater to that?
No, I mean, like, I would say that generally use this moment to have clarity yourself, but it's something you need to look into within, right? Now, first, with the information that I'm sharing here, Jessie sharing, and also I will be sharing for the rest of this session as well, you will be able to find a little specifics related to your own personal parts, right? But of course, within the generalities. But the key is you need to use the opportunity for clarity and awareness right now to figure out what it is for you personally.
Alright, so before this, of course, you know, like before even this month comes about, okay, Gong Yu has been sharing or in a way promoting his parts call, which is all fully booked now, okay?
And pretty much by today fully done.
Yeah, right. So it's in a way, it's like I think over 50, right? It's like, yeah, we have been working hard here. And also for myself, also I've been in a way doing a lot of consultations as well, but we are all done, okay, because we have no more time for consultations. I have a long list of waiting lists, okay, right? But what I mean is if you get a consultation earlier on, that helps to aid some clarity into your life, all right? If not now, then try to get the oracle messages, because the oracle messages is supposed to guide you, to enlighten you, to shed some light into you, as in like, hey, this is something that you have to focus on, okay? This is something that probably you have missed, okay? Like looking into, okay? Pay attention to it, because if you pay attention to it, it's going to change your life, okay? So Serena, maybe getting an oracle card now can actually help you, and it's free, okay? You just have to go into the link, select your card, and see what's the meaning. That's all. Alright, so it's free, it's fully complimentary, and it's like, I would say that it's a purpose for me, it's a task, okay, that's been given to me to, in a way, reach out to all of you, okay? So do get like your loved ones, okay, even your friends, okay, if you think that they might need some clarity in their life, send the link to them, okay, and hopefully by just getting the right oracle, just like people getting the right chim, okay, you count chim and all this, getting the right oracle itself will help them to actually, in a way, like find more clarity, especially during today itself, okay, because you are how to say, you're leveraging on, okay, to the dates, okay, today's special date itself, okay, to have that clarity and that yang energy into our life, okay? Yeah, so maybe you want to, Melvi, amazing consult. Melvi is your client, right?
Thank you, Mel.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I want to talk here about how, okay, so this might help you additionally to, of course, the...
sorry, I must say hello to this. Hi, Jennifer Yap.
Hi, Jen.
Hi, Jen. We miss you so much, Jen.
That's right. See you soon, okay, in back closer home. And I was saying, yeah, so besides, of course, the oracle, now, Jessie was saying, right, the oracle was specifically, in a way, downloaded while we were on location by Jessie here in Nepal. So this is the strongest key message I think that you can receive. If you already have it, then wonderful. So hopefully you're able to contemplate on it and work on it.
And share the link outside.
Yes, that's right. Please do share. Please do download it. Get your own oracle card, as well as to share it with other people so that they can maximize this current period. Speaking of which, of course, we know that we're in the summer season, and basically the energy of fire is peaking, right? Right now, as we speak, the summer solstice. And then also will be very strong all the way into July and also the first parts of August, right? So that's going to be very important for us to manage the fire element, right? So here I just want to quickly add on, okay? But how do you do this best? In which way? By looking into the intricacies and the nuances of the fire element and how it affects all the other four elements. Because the reason why the fire element is so important is because it's the only element that's able to transform all the others. So that's why when it comes to energy, we know we cannot create it. It can only it can only really shift in its own form and change forms, that's all, right? But what really kicks it and powers the change of the form, right, is actually fire element. So that's why that is very important for us to capitalize on the peak of the fire this year, and also overall, and how the fire element is enhanced, right, by the Grand Centurion portal overall, right? So I'm going to quickly run through fire and how it relates to the other elements as a whole. Okay, so now you look at your whole parts of the chart, right? I wouldn't say don't really focus too much on the day master for this particular piece of information, but instead look into the dominant other elements in your chart. What is the dominant element in your chart? So sometimes people have one, sometimes maybe you even have two, which are equally as balanced, right? So with this onslaught of fire energy, what is actually happening? So this can actually give you a bit more clue, right, into which aspect of life, as well as in which way, right, this fire is actually affecting your chart. So for example, right, so if your chart is full of other fire elements, it means either you are fire yourself, right, they must,
fire,
or in the chart is heavy fire. Okay, so this means that with the additional fire element that comes in, right, it really gives you some clues, some tests and lessons in self-differentiation, because fire is very unique, is uniquely individual, right? So yin fire, for example, all burns as individual flames, candles, and so on. And then even more so for yang fire, the sun. There really only is one sun in the solar system, which powers everything else, and everything else in a way revolves around the sun, right? So that's why when a sun or yang fire person, or if a yin fire person's chart, or in the whole chart, there's a lot of occurrence of both types of fire. So that's why self-individuation becomes a very important lesson or test in a moment. That means, in which way are you truly unique? In which ways are you truly authentically owning all of you as a whole? So the enflammement of other fire elements in the chart, including possibly yours, would mean that everybody is shining at the same time, and competition might be an issue, right? Or maybe a sense of lack of self-worth might be triggered in this. So that's why this is overall a really wonderful time. If you are a fire element person, or if your chart has strong fire overall, or lots of fire, any of those criteria, then you'll find that this is going to be a question that is heightened. So it may not feel comfortable, right, when a fire receives or is compared with other heightened fire elements, right? Everybody's rushing to burn at the same time.
Yeah,
right?
probably a lot of competition.
Right.
You feel like, okay, you want to stand out, okay, amidst other people, okay,
right,
by getting the attention and all that.
Exactly. So this is going to be the key test, right? And your opportunity to get clear about who you are, what you are, and whether or not you are giving away some elements of yourself, right, just to basically compete and to be like other people, right? Or maybe you are not appreciating enough of what you truly are, what you are, what you can offer, your real core skills and talents. So bring those out instead, right? That is what this current phase is actually encouraging you to do. So remember, do not use it as a demotivating factor, because I got one or two clients actually come up with that. It's like, hey, this is supposed to be a positive time for transformation, but why do I feel demotivated, right? Or maybe even sluggish and all that, right? This could be actually one clue that there is something you need to look into perhaps not just authentically working with your own unique self and your own power, but maybe also it might be time for you to beef up, right? To strengthen where it is that you're lacking, so that you don't feel demotivated, and instead you feel charged up, you feel motivated and wanting to basically charge forward, right?
Choke.
Yes.
I know I'm disrupting you. So when we were saying that, it's like I find that it comes to me because we have done numerous of consults, okay, right, lately for the past few weeks, all right. So the thing is, I also realized, right, okay, during this season, especially today, when you're nearing to the summer solstice, where it is so bright, there's so much yang energy, there's so much light into it, right? The more the person lives in denial, the more the persons cannot see themselves clearly or refuse to see themselves clearly, the more they will be coupled out of the balance, okay? The more that they will so-called suffer, they will feel depressed, they will feel lost, they will feel like, hey, it's like, aren't this supposed to be fire, it's supposed to be positive? How come I feel so negative? In fact, I just saw a client, was it yesterday? Alright, right, it's the similar thing, okay? Because they feel like the way when the intense fire is coming, they feel the opposing energy, because a part of them are trying to pull them back, okay? So if you feel lost, if you feel insecure, if you feel uncertain, if you feel depressed, okay, it means that you have not really find your own clarity, okay? It means whatever that you're doing in your life right now, ask yourself, who are you doing it for? What's the purpose, okay? Right, why are you doing what you're doing now? Because if you can't answer in a way like purposefully to that questions, the chances is probably you are just in a way facilitating other people's fire.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's a wonderful way to put things. In fact, right? So if your chart, if your Barter chart has a lot of earth element, for example, this one is the sticky one, right?
Yeah.
Now it is especially important if you to take note is your chart is heavy on the earth element, because as we get into July, then you'll see even more tests come out, right? Especially if you have not worked on removing stagnation in your life, removing areas that you've manifested over and over again on automatic, even though it's unproductive or it is basically making yourself miserable or hiding your true talents and so on, then you're going to get an intensified feeling, especially going to July, if your chart is basically heavy earth element. Because what fire element does to earth that is stuck, that has not been cleared, and that has not been lightened, like Jessie has been advising all of us to do in the past year, and so on, right? Then you're going to find the heaviness and the stagnation to be even more overwhelming, starting from already this current period, right? Because when earth receives fire, it gets harder.
Yeah.
Right? When earth receives fire, it gets even more stagnated, it gets even more stuck.
Yeah.
So that's why for fire and earth moving together, right? So it's a very uncomfortable feeling. You feel stagnation, you feel stuck, and you can also in this way also maybe you feel that there's really nowhere out of it. So the answer is really in letting go, right, of the constructs, the lifestyles, the reality, right, that you have already manifested all these years, especially if your chart is heavy earth, right? So that's where that's where we need to already ideally have done the work earlier, but if not, it's never too late. And there's ways that you can basically relieve the earth, but then you have to be aware yourself that this is actually happening, especially if your chart is heavy on the earth side. Yep.
And somehow that when you mention this, right, I find it's like, wow, okay, can you see there's like so much of hardened earth around us? It's like all the breaks, all the like clays, okay?
Yeah, it's all
hardened
fixed.
clays. Yeah, all fixed, all fixated, or hard, or stubborn. So I guess that if we have a lot of earth, okay, in the chart itself, like I do have, okay, a lot. Alright, so I hope okay, let's say for instance, if I have a lot of earth in my chart itself, okay, so I find that, right, okay, the most important thing when the heavy fire is coming in is like we just have to allow ourselves to be flowy. Do not like, how is that, stubbornize? Is that such? Okay.
Internet's gone a little wonky, so we're just gonna take some time here. I've already switched off my phone
I think
Wi-Fi.
I switched off mine here as well.
Right.
Okay.
So and let us know. Right, just drop us a quick comment that this is back running smooth. It should be.
Yeah.
Right?
Okay. So yeah. So the thing is, when you have a lot of earth itself, right? Okay, I think it's like most important to remember itself, right? Be flexible. Just remind yourself that any moments, right? Okay, we can just like flare up and be as stubborn as the clay. Right? So when we hold on to something so strictly, so stubbornly, right? The chances is like, it might actually affect us, okay, in terms of our endeavor, in terms of our relationships and all that. So people with earth, okay, we just have to remember, like we cannot allow our ego to get into the way.
That's right.
All right. Yeah.
Right.
Just remember that.
And just realize that's why you know the wonders of astrology information, isn't it? Why we are able to actually know and pinpoint. Let's say if a chart is heavy earth, then do realize that exactly what Jessie is saying, right? So realize that there might be some things that are too fixated on, and it's now really the time to change those.
And it's totally fine to be vulnerable. So those people with a lot of earth, myself included, okay, it is okay to be vulnerable. It is okay for us to be not able to climb those flights of stairs, like seriously, okay? It is okay to admit it. We don't have to like stiffen it up and like in a way egoistically feel that, oh, we are strong and we are hard, because that might actually do more damage, okay, rather than being soft and being vulnerable. Because okay, we are not allowing ourselves to be soft and teachable, okay? We will be molded as it is, okay? Hopefully it's a nice mold, because if not, we'll be totally ugly and out of shape, right?
So now moving on to the other element, right? So if your chart is heavy on metal, okay, so what's happening right now is that with the strong fire that's burning, we're giving a chance to reshape the metal in your chart. Okay, so this is obviously a process that's not comfortable, right? So especially if you're a metal day master, either Keng Yang metal or Sin Yin metal, right? Or if your chart overall has an abundance of metal element, this now allows that transformation or reshaping process to happen, which means identity, for example, principles and values, right? Those might be changing, and overall goals, right? What you want to stand for, what you want to strive for, right? All of that is currently being molded, it's being melted and reshaped currently, right? So now's a wonderful time to allow for this actual transformation process to happen. And like I said, it will affect some area of your life that is about principle. It's about what is right. It's about justice and so on. Now, of course, if it's particularly more on the yang metal side, we see more of this transformation process that is happening, even though it might be uncomfortable. If it's yin metal that's being exposed to all the heat at the moment, then that might actually be a bit of a prickly ego test, right? In terms of face value, in terms of perfection, ideals, which are beyond what is necessary, for example, and even just superficial beauty and things like that. So those could actually be areas where there's a little bit of an ouch going on. And I think the ego would be the one that is hurt in some way in all this fire that's burning. So that's a great time as well to again look into whether face value and ego have been a stumbling block or blockage at the moment.
Yeah.
Right?
All right. And I feel that it's like, for me personally, probably fire itself, you see a lot of like, no, I mean metal itself, when you see a lot of fire coming in also, things can be like explosive. Things can be also in a way, it's not that comfortable, let's put it that way, okay? Things might not get comfortable, but again, it's like, don't you think that when it's not comfortable, then only we are moving our ass and doing something? Because when it's too comfortable, then it's like we're merely in a way staying stagnant of like who or where we are, okay? So I think for the metal people, it's like, you know, when that push, okay, comes in, or you can see it as a push, or you can see it as a stress, okay, right? Allow it to come in, right? Face and embrace the stress, okay? Because you see, we only feel stressed up when we are not ready for a certain endeavor or a certain challenge, right? Like some people feeling that, okay, lifting like a small little, like, in a way, weight is very stressful. Well, some people feel that, okay, lifting 50 kg is not even stressful because they're so used to 100 kg. So stress is individual. So what I feel is like, if you're a metal person, this month comes as a stressful month, but this stress is exactly, okay, all right, whether it molds you into the diamond that you're supposed to be, okay, right, depending on this intensity of the stress. But don't run away from it, because if we keep on running away from the stress itself, right, okay, if we see fires coming, also, oh my god, no, I'm running away, we will never get, in a way, transformed, okay, or molded to our highest level or our highest value.
Right.
All right?
All right. So that's for the metal, right? If your chart is heavy metal, for example. So now let's talk about water, right? So water and fire is very interesting because we've got, for a water heavy person, obviously you're going to take significant amounts of fire like now, right, to have a lot of this simmering and boiling effect and all that. So I see it as actually as fast opportunities, right? So you'll see a lot of fast opportunities happening all over the place. Now, sometimes these opportunities can be work. Because this is the control element, right? Water putting out fire, isn't it? So you're actually solving problems. You are called to action, right? In that area of life that water represents for you, right? And it can be a little disorienting and all over the place. But again, this is an opportunity really, if you can see it, because it is the wealth element, right? Especially if you are a water day master yourself, right? Then there's opportunities abounding everywhere, and including not just work, not just projects, but also fighting fires. That means problems you need to solve, and also maybe even wealth and business opportunity, right? If you are water person, But if your chart is overly strong water, then in those areas of life, then you see a lot of this combustion happening, you know, there's simmering and there's boiling and everything. So it's, again, not the most comfortable, but I would say that opportunities are abundant overall if your chart is strong water.
So I guess it's like for the water people, you have just to have to seize the day, right? Or seize the moment. But also remember, it's like whenever we see, like a lot of times we can see things as opportunity. I'm in a way partially water, okay, myself. Because a lot of times that we see opportunities, okay, but the thing is, okay, instead of like being driven or being driven or drove by greed, okay, I think we have to be very clear with ourselves as in like those opportunities itself, okay, as in like it is something that we are totally ready to take it up, or there is a sense of like a greed that has been lingering within us. Remember, if our water is not strong enough and we we take in too much of the fire, we get drained, we get evaporated. Okay, so it will be in a way, right, damaging to self as well. So I guess it's all about balancing. So water people, opportunities are there. So probably one of the things that we have to ask ourselves is like, are we ready for this opportunity? Okay, does this actually branch out from passion that we are so ready for it, or does it actually comes out from greed? Okay, right? Because at the end of the day, it's like if we are really lured by greed and whatsoever, eventually all this opportunity or so-called, or all these things that we have seized the opportunity, okay, it will backfire on us.
That's right. So remember, this period is strong from an energetic perspective, right? So obviously a lot of what we feel, sense and experience are all parts of tests, right? And so remember to always put that at the back, at the foundation of what you're doing in the decisions that you make throughout the month, right? And let's talk about wood. So if you are a wood person, if your chart is heavy wood, so there's a lot of fuel for the fire to burn even more vibrantly, right? So of course it can be exhausting, and it could be a time of intense sacrifice somewhere in some area of your life, because here comes the strong fire basically burning up all the wood, right? So all the wood is actually being burnt up to contribute to more and bigger, brighter flames and fire, right? So the wood constantly is gone, is constantly exhausted. So if you are a wood person, you find that again, you are needed left, right and center, right? And there's a lot of things that you need to attend to, because the output element is so strong, right? And if your chart is burning, if your chart which is heavy wood is now experiencing fire, so that element of what wood represents is sacrificed, is lost. You might feel that, hey, look, I don't have time to actually have this. Or maybe if wood is the wealth element, for example, then again that could actually be transforming into something else, right? You might feel that you cannot hold on to that. It might be control, for example. You cannot hold on to control, and you just have to kind of flow with it. So that again is a self-check, and it is the lesson of that. So the question is, what am I working towards, and is it worth it? Is it the right thing, right? As opposed to just falling prey to just doing it on automatic.
So I guess it's like, I mean, have something to sacrifice is like such a, it's like,
sounds righteous.
Yeah, it's righteous. Right. It's very nice, but the thing is like, no way we have to always like keep track with ourselves. It's like, okay, what are we sacrificing ourselves for? Okay, right? At the end of the day, if we sacrifice for our own fulfillment, for our own happiness, for our own belief, okay, it means that every single decisions along the way when we are sacrifice something, because everything that we do is a sacrificial thing, is right? Whatever, like we are doing a Facebook Live here, we are sacrificing our time, we are sacrificing our energy, okay? But is it worth it? It's definitely worth it. Alright, so we just have to ask ourselves, as in at the end of the day, what exactly are the things that we are sacrificing our resources for? Okay, right? Because if we can, in a way, clearly answer that questions without guilt, all right, then whatever sacrifices that we are doing is worthwhile. Okay, it will actually in a way feel back as a fulfillment to us. But let's say, for instance, if you are constantly sacrificing your resources, your energy, your time for someone else rather than your own growth, then these are the wood people, or like the abundance of wood in your chart itself. These are the people that in a way they will suffer from their test. Okay, the test, when it comes itself, you will feel that like in a way you will get suffocated eventually.
Right.
Right.
Right. So of course, obviously overall, right, look into which element is dominant. It could be maybe two, right, or maybe more, right, in a more overall balanced chart. And this is the areas that you can have clues, right, and answers as to why, what the current strong fire energy is actually pointing you to be more aware of.
Yes, and in case those of you who have just joined us, we just talk about like the dominance or the most prominent 5 elements in your parcel chart, alright? So you can, in a way, watch the replay of the whole entire Facebook Live itself, okay, to get a better idea and then to understand, and who knows, you can even see for the people around you, your friends and even your family members. Remember, today, summer solstice is all about awareness. So whenever we can, in a way, by whatever means that we can, in a way, have more awareness in our life, or create more awareness, okay, onto the lives of the people around us, okay, that's the whole entire purpose, I would say, that of the sun, the enlightenment, of the energy, of the yang energy, and the brightness and the clarity of it, okay? So, like Susan Lu, I think just now asking us, like, what is the oracle message and all that? I'm sure if you scroll back into the comments, some of our loyal followers, okay, thank you so much, okay, have already shared, okay, a link to the oracle messages which we have created. I have in a way written out all the 30 messages, and my team has actually created a link to put it onto the cards, okay, to design it for you to actually get your clarity. Okay, so especially today itself, all right, if you can just pick a card to give you some sort of clarity into your life, into what are the things that you have to focus on, okay, for this moment, in order for you to actually, in a way, like, be a better person, make breakthroughs, okay? Right, yeah.
Yes, and also besides the oracle card as well, right? So you may have seen some of the little, you know, like promotions and all that the team has done such a wonderful job of my workshop that's happening in July. So that's happening on July 17th. It's called Reprogram to Manifest for Period 9. And I'm very excited about basically focusing on actually continue to curate this particular workshop, right? So it's going to have elements of letting go of how we can transform areas which are stagnant in our chart, and more importantly, how to smoothen the flow of manifestation for all of us, for you, according to your own personal parts chart, right? So I'm going to just put in this link now, so if you have not already checked the page out, if you have not signed up, this is a full day workshop happening on Sunday, July 17th, and you can actually check it out. Hopefully I'll see you there. I'm very excited about it, by the way. Yeah, so that's something.
All right. Yeah,
right?
we share the link.
Okay.
All right, so that is Gong News, okay? We program to manifest in period 9, all right? So if you, I mean, I would say that, I mean, these are the workshops, you see, what the thing is, if we see our workshops, right, okay, we ensure that, I mean, the workshop itself, okay, will be, of course, super loaded with informations, okay? And then another thing is, like, it comes in a very, very affordable price as well,
That's
because
right.
we believe that as long as you want, okay, to make the best out of yourself using astrology to help you, in a way, lead a better life, okay, these are the workshops for you. So that is a workshop for Gong Yu.
That's right, and it's going to be, I wanted to add as well, it's designed for every level, yeah?
Yeah.
Every level that to be able to use it, and of course, you don't have to be just a practitioner, right? You can. I'm also catering it for beginners as well, because it's going to be based on observation and so on, right? So it is an all-level workshop. It's happening on that day, July 17th.
Yeah,
Sunday.
and then of course, those of you who are following my Telegram, you know that I have also numerous like workshops and events coming up.
All in
I'm not
July.
going to share it here, okay? You find somewhere on my Facebook page, or you go to Telegram, you have all the informations there. What I want to share today is, okay, I'm relaunching my Star Equilibrium pendant, okay? Star Equilibrium, summer solstice, okay? Where you have the sun shining brightest, okay? And also in a way at the most balanced way. So those of you who has been asking for the Star Equilibrium pendant, the big ones has already stopped selling, because the big ones are all here. Okay, we are doing blessings in Kathmandu already, but now we are launching the small ones. Okay, the small ones is, I think, it's about like 630 plus, including SST, right? I will share the link later on. So in case if you are waiting to buy the small Star Equilibrium pendant, it is on for sale now, okay? And you can only collect it by the end of July, because the blessings will be in July. Now, I'm not disclosing where I'm going to bless it, okay? Because it is meaningful, but I do not want to use it as a selling point, okay? So the same thing as those of you who bought the big pendant, you do not know that I brought it all the way to Kathmandu to bless it, all right? So in July itself, okay, the pendants will be blessed, all right? So if you wanted to get the small pendants, you have to start to, in a way, get it now. I think we will be opening the sales up to the 8th of July. All right, so it will be open for this a few weeks itself, up to the 8th of July. If you want, or any of your friends or family members wanted the pendant, you can actually, in a way, check out the link, which I'll be sharing very soon on my Facebook. Yeah.
Right, and we're going to put the link down before we wrap up as well, so you can wait for that to be on.
Okay, the star one?
The star one,
It's okay now. I can share later on. Okay?
Yeah.
All right, I think basically that's pretty much sums up.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, okay, so thank you so much to all of you again. If you can help us to share this session out so that it can reach out to more people. Again, blessed our summer solstice, okay? I guess that, yeah, it's sunset now, right? Okay, in KL. What time is it now?
Let's see. So it's almost
7. Yeah, it should be 7 now.
Yeah.
All right. So
7
thank
plus.
you so much again to all of you. Oh, Mr. Lim, Serious Bride. All right. Thank you, Stephanie here. All right. So thank you so much for tuning in. Okay, wishing you all the best. Blessed summer solstice. May all of you be blessed with more clarity. Okay, with more passion, okay? May you have the fire within you that's burning so brightly and so strongly to push you further into achieving something that your soul desire. That's very important. It's not someone else's desire. It's what your soul needed you to do. Okay, like Mr. Lim, okay, serious right here, right? I mean, I'm so proud of him. He just written out a book, like book after books and after books, okay? So, yeah, okay, your soul, our soul are constantly calling out to us to do something meaningful and purposeful in this lifetime. So may this summer solstice itself brings you that clarity, that passion, and that fire within you to fuel you towards, okay, these breakthroughs in your life, so that no fear is big enough to stop you, okay, from progressing further.
That's right. All
right.
the best. Blessed summer solstice. Rest of June, and of course will be coming back soon.
Yeah,
right,
definitely.
live with you, and
Yeah.
keep you posted right here from Kathmandu, Nepal.
Yeah,
Right?
thank you so
Thank you.
much, all of you. Okay, bye-bye.
Bye bye. Okay, let me press finish.
Manually.